Okay, folks, hope everybody enjoyed their dinner. I have the pleasure, first of all, let me stop. I'd like a round of applause for the staff around here. Not just here tonight, but for the entire week. And with that, my pleasure to introduce Bill Ellsworth.
Yes, it is. So is everybody having a good time?
Yes, sir.
I don't know how you could come here and not have a good time. This is one of the most beautiful places I think I ever seen. So, guys, gals, what a privilege it is for me to stand up here and talk to such a group of high-powered professional individuals. Truly an honor on my part. Before we get started, one of the things that I think sometimes goes a little unrecognized is I would like for all the spouses of any insurance agent here to please stand up. Whether you're a spouse or a guest, please stand up at this time. That's you too, Teresa. You know, in our job, we spend a lot of time on the phone, and it's not always between 8 and 5. So it's kind of nice to have a good support system at home, and that comes from a happy family, happy wife, happy life. Anybody ever hear that? Never. So definitely our hearts and our hand, we just want to thank you for supporting us for everything that we try to do, and really appreciate all the ladies and the gentlemen. It's not always a male salesperson. There's a lot of ladies out there that seem to kill it every week. So we appreciate all of you, and we just can't say enough how we do appreciate that. So guys, none of what we're doing here tonight would be present if it wasn't for the insurance carrier that we are here representing. Could I get Brent Gibson to come to the stage? Kind of give Brent a welcome with you, please.
I want to thank Bill and Todd for the opportunity to come out here. I know you're selling IEC, you really don't know who they even are sometimes. You just know, well, they're rated, they pay their claims, and they have a good reputation, and HFG is promoting them. And that's very true, and we do appreciate them inviting us out. This is Laura, our controller. I'm the CFO. We're not really marketing people, but we like to get out of the office. We use any excuse to get out of there. So, along with that, I do appreciate every agent that has sold anything that's here. We know it takes a lot to get here. We truly appreciate that, and so we know there's a lot of options out there. You have a lot of choices, and we love doing IEC. Thank you. There's also some folks here that are prospective agents, agency, MGAs, things like that. And along with that, we pray that you might just consider us in the future. If they call on you and say IEC, you might say, hey, I'm good with that. So we've only been doing this for about 3 years. Now, we've been an insurance company for 40 something like that, and gotten into this. It's gone really, really well, thanks to Heartland's promotions that they've done for us. So we just ask that you just kind of continue to consider us. Along with that, like I say, we've been doing this, and some of these companies look for a short-term type option on this. We're not a short-term. Scott Dumbold, our business director, wanted me to emphasize that tonight. This is not a short-term business for us. We're in it for the long term, and we look for any of you guys to continue to promote us or to jump on board with HFG to help sell us, and enjoy the ride. I think it's going to be a long ride, and we appreciate everything they've done, and thank you all for coming out here and celebrating with us. Thank you.
Thanks, Brent. Thanks, IAC. We appreciate you. So, any baseball fans in the crowd tonight? Got a couple, I think. So before I introduce the next guest, I do want to toot his horn a little bit. I don't know what he's going to think about this, but too late now. I've got it wrote down. So, exactly. So this guy only had 3,154 career hits. That's the most by any third baseman in the history of baseball, not just recently, in the history of baseball, he's only one of 4 players in Major League Baseball history to accumulate 3,000 hits, 300 home runs, and a career 300 batting average. That career wasn't just 8, 9 years like some players in today's world. That spanned 20 years. The other 3 men in that category was Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, and Stan the Man Musial. Now that's some pretty impressive company to be keeping with. I'm telling you, that's just impresses me to no end. This man was also inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1999. The first time his name hit the ballot, he was recognized and in the Hall of Fame. He's the only player in Major League history to win the batting title in 3 different decades. One last thing here. There was 2 men chasing Ted Williams' 400 batting average. That would have been George Brett and Tony Gwynn. Now, in George's defense, he did that over a full season, and Ted did it over a shortened strike season. So, with that said, guys, I could go on hours about this guy and what he's done and meant to Kansas City. But with that said, enough of me. I'd like for you to give a big round of applause for George Brett, Kansas City's Hall of Fame legend.
Thanks, buddy.
You bet.
Keep talking, because I have nothing prepared. Tell me how good I was again, Bill. No, this is ironic for me. I thought Major League Baseball was a great life. But after meeting Chris McDaniel and the people at Heartland, talking to Todd Hill and Bill, and all the employees, Tegray, insurance people have a pretty good life too. They just came back from a trip in Greece, all paid for by Mutual of Omaha. I know a couple, or about 17 months from now, there's a trip going to Aruba with my friends from Nebraska, or actually Iowa, right? Guys I played golf with yesterday. They work really, really hard. Do you know how I know that? They are really shitty golfers. But we had a wonderful, wonderful time. We had a wonderful time, and I met some wonderful people here. Another reason to be a successful insurance agent, in my opinion, in 2013, I went back to be a hitting coach for the Kansas City Royals. They were really struggling, and everybody thought I could make an impact. I was there 2 months, and in those 2 months, I went to Cleveland, Ohio twice. I would much rather be here in Turks and Caicos, Aruba. Someone's going on an Alaska cruise next week with another insurance company, but you guys do it right. The insurance companies know how to entertain. They know how to take care of their people that go out and sell their policies. And I'm very, very excited to get involved with Heartland and start. I think we're starting our own, aren't we, Tegray? Yes. Tegray, aren't we? Okay. Starting our own insurance company and hopefully be on a lot of these trips in the future. One thing Tegray wanted me to talk about tonight was, how I got to where I was. First of all, it was not easy. Like a lot of insurance guys, when you start out, you make a lot of calls, you get turned down a lot, and things like that. Well, Bill said I had 3,000 hits. I had made 7,000 outs. And that's what I like to tell people. I made 7,000 outs. But I was able to stay around 20 years and enabled me to make 7,000 outs. So I think you have to learn with failure. But every day I went to the ballpark. My goal, I had 3 goals. One was to be the best player on the field that given night. Now I'm playing against Major League Baseball players from the Boston Red Sox, the New York Yankees, the Chicago White Sox, the LA Angels, whatever. But my goal was to be the best player on the field that night. Was I? No. Was I sometimes? Yes. But if my goal was never to be the best, I would have never been the best. So my goal was always to be the best player on the field that night. Another goal of mine was to have more fun than anybody on the field that night. That was easy because I enjoyed playing the game of baseball. I really did. And another goal of mine was to be the dirtiest player on the field that night. Not kick people or hit people in the back of the head when they weren't looking, but to be the dirtiest guy, to slide in and to break up double plays and stretch singles into doubles into triples, and knock over the catcher if needed to be. And I really think when I set goals like that, all of a sudden, I had a different outlook on what the day was going to be like. My day started, the game actually started at 7 o'clock or 7:30 at night, but my day actually started about 1 o'clock when I got to the ballpark. And it was the routine that you go through and the extra batting practice and the infield practice and then play the game. But I learned to deal with failure. And in your business, I was talking to somebody the other day, one of the guys from Iowa, was it Iowa? Or should I say Nebraska or Iowa? Iowa. They're wearing the Nebraska hats, and I asked them what the Nebraska hat stood for, and they said knowledge. N. They all said knowledge, the whole family. It's crazy. But I was telling them I failed 7 out of 10 times. You know what they told me? We have callers that fail 97 out of 100 times. Is that true? So, I mean, I don't know how you are able to get up in the morning and go to work when you deal with failure that much. I'm going to tell you another quick story, one real quick story. I had dinner with a guy named Warren Buffett one night in Omaha, Nebraska. And I asked Warren that night, I said, Warren, you got more money than God. You're the richest man in the United States at this time. And yet you put on a coat and tie and you come sit in your office every day. What drives you? And he said, George, it's very simple. Every day I go to that office, and every time that phone rings, I think it's a phone call that's going to be the biggest deal I've ever done. And that's what drives Warren Buffett. And hopefully that's what will drive the people at Heartland and the people that work for some of you to go out there and succeed and get to that next level. So I'm excited to be here. I really am. Never done a trip like this. The Royals don't give trips, incentive trips. If you hit 300, you get a trip to Turks and Caicos. They don't give those trips. But this has been a fun trip for me, and hopefully I'll see a lot of you in the years to come, because I hope my relationship with Heartland continues to grow and grow and grow. And instead of just seeing a face, I'll see a person and I'll see a name. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, George. That was awesome. Now it's time for us to give some awards away. And before we do that, I would like to just kind of give you, I guess, a direction for Heartland, where we're going to go, in the next coming years, and what the most important thing for us as we progress, as we grow, and as we build as an agency. And I will say that the number one thing, whether we're in first place or we're in 20th place, to me, that's not as important as relationships. And, my boss, he's told me something one time, and he said, relationships are the currency of our business. And that always stuck with me. And I think that is also very important, because it starts from within. It starts with the home office team. And I'm very, very privileged to work with individuals that really care about you and your business and your clients. And one thing that I always say in all of our meetings is that an agent's problems are our problems. We're not disconnected. Your problems are our problems. So if you're going through an issue with your client, we're also going through that same issue. And that's one of the things that we stand by. That's what we will always be built on at Heartland. And what I'd like to do is just have the Heartland staff stand up. I'm very proud to work with you guys. Very, very talented group of individuals that really care about you and processing your business. There wasn't a lot of people that thought that we could actually do anything with IAC when we launched it in 2014. But we did. We eclipsed 50 million in premium in 2016, thanks to your help. And yep. And I will say, you know, I kind of heard everything. I heard a lot of excuses from different agents out there. It's not a family, it's not a brand name out there. But the one thing that I understood, and I think all of you understand as well, is that it's not necessarily about a brand name, because your clients buy you. And I think that's very important. And it is the reason why you're sitting here. And so we want to recognize some of our top producers, our top individual producers. And before we do that, I also know that we have a lot of NMO partners with us as well. And you know who you are. If you could stand up, I'd like to recognize you as well. You know who you are. Eric, John, Dickens, Al. Thank you. Thank you. So, what I'd like to do is, if we can, we're going to give out our top 5 individual producers. 2 of them couldn't attend with us and enjoy the beach, but our top 3 are here. And so I'd like Bill, Todd, and George, if you can come up. As we call your name, I'd like you to come up here, and we'll take your picture and give you your award. So, but let me real quick, let me go through the number 5 and the number 4. So in terms of production, our number 5 producer for 2016, this is individual production for 2016, was Lori Levitt from Oregon, and her premium was $817,000. That was our number 5 producer. Our number 4 producer, another Oregon agent, $806,000 in premium. Actually, I'm sorry, $819,000. Excuse me. I don't know where I got that from. $819,000 in premium. Ron Russo, also from Oregon. And our number 3 producer for 2016, I would tell you this gentleman his name is getting well known within the reinsurance companies, the insurance companies of the world, just because he does such a fantastic job, and he really, really helped us with IAC and gave us an incredible amount of mixed business in terms of underwritten, and really, really helped IAC, and we owe you a really big thanks. Our number 3 producer in 2016 with $1,028,000 in production, Greg Giles. Come on up, Greg. Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead. Nice to see you. This guy's good. He's a customer service. I've never seen. You can say a few things more, sir.
No.
All right, our number 2 producer for 2016. Another incredible guy, just a workhorse, and it's been a pleasure to get to know, and just has done an incredible job for IAC. With $1,055,000 in production, it's Michael Brides.
And I just want everybody to know he's older than I am.
By 3 months.
And our #1 producer for 2016. This gentleman can be all over the world and still write business. He's that dedicated. And if I was to look at the email string between myself and this individual, it would be quite extensive. But I admire him for his dedication and his hard work and just everything that he's put into it. It also happens to be his birthday, so happy birthday. Our #1 producer with a little over 1.2 million in premium, Rusty Brimes. Congrats.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
I got a flight. I gotta go. I gotta leave.
We actually have one more award, and how many of you actually participated in the treasure hunt?
I got a flight. I gotta go home. See y'all.
Well, listen, we came up with this 2 days before our trip, so I realized it wasn't perfect. There was a couple of things that probably we could have fixed, but we actually had some people participate. It was pretty good. We're giving away a pretty big cash prize. So what ended up happening was they ended up at the same place, the same time, and it was there wasn't a battle, but they decided to split the winnings. So I think we had 2 winners. We're going to give it away. They each get to split it. It was Don Layton and Shelby Holman. Where are you? Come on up here. What's your name? Huh?
Thank you. We're saving them for next year.
So it was a $4,000 cash prize, and they split it. So. Shelby.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Got it.
All right, thank you, everybody. We really appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your vacation. We're here for you. I'd also like to give one more thanks. I'd really like to thank the staff at MTI. They were awesome. They've been very accommodating. John, Jessica, Judy, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yes, we're done. All right.